People keep telling you the problem is motivation. I don't think it is, because I've noticed something. The days I feel the least motivated aren't usually the days I do the least. They're the days I trust myself the least. And I think a lot of us mistake those two things. Think about the last promise you made to yourself. Maybe it was, I'm going to stop wasting so much time on my phone. You meant it in that moment. You genuinely believed yourself. But then tomorrow came and something happened. You negotiated. I'll do it later. I've had a long day. I'll start properly on Monday. I've had those conversations with myself more times than I'd like to admit. Maybe you have too. Here's what's strange. Every time it happened, I thought I had a motivation problem. So I watched another video. I read another book. Waited for another burst of inspiration. Because I thought motivation was the missing piece. But it never fixed anything. Looking back, I don't think I was waiting for motivation. I was waiting to believe myself again. Because after enough broken promises, something changes. Not overnight, quietly. You stop trusting your own word. You still make plans, you still get excited, but a small part of your brain has started whispering, you probably won't do it this time. That's a hard thing to admit, because nobody wants to believe they've become the person they can't rely on. I think that's why starting feels so difficult. Not because the task is impossible, because every new commitment is carrying the weight of all the old ones you never kept. You're not just trying to build a habit, you're trying to convince yourself that this time you're telling the truth. That's a completely different battle, and nobody really talks about it. We keep calling it laziness, or procrastination, or lack of discipline. But maybe those things are just symptoms. Maybe the real problem is that we're slowly stop believing ourselves. One thing I admire about Stoic philosophy is that it never asks you to feel ready. It asks you to act according to your values, again and again. Not because it's easy, but because character is built through repeated choices, not repeated intentions. There's a difference. That's an uncomfortable idea, because it means every small decision matters, not just the big ones. I've realised confidence doesn't come from thinking differently, it comes from collecting evidence. Evidence that when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. Maybe that's why confidence always seemed so difficult to find. I was looking for a feeling when I should have been building proof. Maybe you don't need another motivational video. Maybe you don't need a better morning routine. Maybe you don't need to wait until Monday. Maybe the next step is much smaller than that. Keep one promise. Just one. Not because it will change your life today, because it changes something much more important. The relationship you have with yourself. The older I get, the more I think personal growth isn't about becoming someone completely different. It's about becoming someone you can rely on. Someone whose words actually mean something to other people, but more importantly, to yourself. Because once you trust yourself, motivation stops being something you chase and starts being something you no longer need.